Hi, my name's Blair, founder of GoodSignal.com. You're just a short step away from massively improving your website's conversion rate, and if you don't know what that is, then don't worry, you will by the end of this video. A little later on in this presentation, I'm going to share with you the two factors which determine whether or not your website will be successful. Yes, there are only two, and in my opinion, understanding the difference between them could be the most valuable thing you'll ever learn about your website. But first, allow me to explain what this tutorial series is all about. I'm sure you didn't start out in business and decide to rush out and build a website just for the sake of it, right? In fact, if you're like the majority of small business website owners out there, then you'll be relying on your website to fulfill some, or possibly all, of your business's sales and marketing functions. So it's probably fair to say then that your website is a very important tool that should be contributing to the success and growth of your business. So ask yourself this: how many new leads or sales did you achieve solely through your website last month? Now compare that to how many sales or leads would you like to have made solely through your website. You see, for most people, there's usually a massive difference between those two numbers. Most people wish their websites did a better job of generating new business. The problem, however, is that most websites suck at doing their job. And that's not just because they're old or they're out of date. In fact, there are loads of reasons. The problem, however, is that most website owners never bother to figure out what those reasons are. And instead you kind of rush out there and you spend more money on things like search engine optimization or pay-per-click advertising. And then I guess in the worst case, after a couple of years of disappointing results, you go and you waste even more money on a whole new website, hoping that this time things will be better. Well, the super cool thing with this tutorial series is you'll now be able to figure out what's going wrong. You'll be able to figure out all the reasons why your website is failing to generate the results you had hoped for. You don't need to burn money on advertising, or as some of my clients have said in the past, throwing mud at the wall to see what sticks. And you don't need to throw thousands away on a new website with nothing but blind hope that the results you so desperately need will actually be realized. Now, if you remember back to the start of this video, I told you that there are only two factors which determine whether or not your website will be successful. The first factor is number of website visitors. Sounds obvious, right? I mean, if you don't have anyone visiting your website, then there's no way that you're ever going to generate any business. Now, this is typically where most website owners have been spending their money over the last decade or so, mainly on things like search engine optimization and pay-per-click traffic. This is called traffic generation, but the problem with traffic generation is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll generate more business. Let's look at pay-per-click, for example. You pay Google to place your ads and generate a click-through to your website, but as soon as that person arrives, Google has no further part or responsibility for what happens next, i.e. the sale. Search engine optimization is the same. Everyone's desperate to get onto page one of Google, and we tend to spend a great deal of time and money on achieving just that. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I mean, it's essential, it's fantastic, it's great, but what happens next? You're on page one, people click through to your site, but then what? I mean, does your SEO guy take responsibility for whether or not the traffic they generate actually creates new business or not? No, of course they don't. So this leads us on to the second factor which determines whether or not your website will be successful in generating new business, and that is the number of visitors who take action. So there you have it. The two factors for success are the number of website visitors, but most importantly, the number of website visitors taking action. And the way I justify saying most importantly is by asking, would you rather have 100 visitors with only 2 converting into new business, or 10 visitors but 8 new customers? You see, conversion rate optimization is the practice of increasing the success of factor number 2, that is, increasing the number of website visitors taking action. These actions might include things like completing and submitting a form, finding specific information, then finding your phone number, or more complicated activities such as searching for a product, adding it to a cart, and then completing a checkout procedure. Each of the individual actions in these processes is called a conversion, and what this video tutorial series will teach you how to do is increase the number of those conversions that happen on your website. So, as it says in the blurb below, this course is practically based. That means every video contains step-by-step how-to information that you can take action on straight away. In the first phase of the course, you'll learn how to understand your users, how to understand the problems your potential customers may have, and the sort of tasks they need to complete in order to reach a buying decision. In the second phase of the course, you'll learn how to measure exactly what's going on with your website as it is right now. This is super cool because finding out where all the problems are right now allows you to focus your resources on fixing those problems, with confidence, rather than wasting money on a whole new website where all you can do is hope that it will be better. And in the last phase of the course, you'll learn how to continually improve your website conversion rate using a technique called A/B testing. Don't worry, it's really, really easy, and I'll be walking you through it step by step. So all you have to decide right now is, do you want to turn more of your website visitors into customers? If the answer is yes, then enter your details in the form on the right or elsewhere down below on the page. You'll receive instant access to the first video in the series. Also, I'm going to give you this course for free, so you've got absolutely nothing to lose. So register now, and I'll see you inside the members area.